Thrifty Ways to Thieve Your Mother is the very first episode of the Simpsons' 37th season. The title is a play on Paul Simon Sips' song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. What makes this episode stand out is the return of a more authentic Lisa, acting like what she truly is, a kid. For once we step away from the overly mature, politically correct Lisa, who often behaved more like another adult in the family. This time her choices don't come from reason or judgment, but from raw emotions. And because she lets her feelings take over, she ends up clashing not just with her mom, but even with the police. In this video, we're gonna break down the episode, so stick around, let's get started.
Let's go.
Where?
A place where we're always safe.
The episode opens with a jab at how quickly movies are being pushed to streaming right after hitting theaters. Just like with Hungry Hungry Hippos, which has its opening weekend and also its closing weekend before hitting streaming only 3 days later. After Bart points out how fast movies end up online, the Simpsons themselves head to the theater. The critique here is crystal clear. Today's audiences would rather stream at home, even if it ruins the movie-going experience.
How to watch this movie the way God intended, on a small screen and riddled with ads.
Then we get the awkward deodorant commercial, a parody of those overly sexualized ads. But it's also a wink at what we're all going through on platforms like YouTube, Spotify, and now even Disney+, Prime Video, and Netflix. These services bombard you with ads unless you pay more to get rid of them, or pay less and sit through an ad every 15 minutes. It's basically what Black Mirror's episode, Common People, warned us about. In a dystopian world, subscriptions and advertising can turn into a living nightmare. The movie Hungry Hungry Hippos, Multiverse of Munchies is a direct parody of the multiverse craze in Marvel and DC. Both studios have been milking that concept for years, and this gag makes fun of how overused its sips become. Fed up with the endless ads on streaming platforms, Marge decides to go old school watching a movie the classic way. She digs into her closet and pulls out her DVD collection, where she finds Keagan's Pond, a series that was all the rage when she was younger. This show is a clear nod to Dawson Sips Creek, the 1998 teen drama that followed a group of friends in the small fictional town of Capeside, Massachusetts. While Marge enjoys her girls' night, Homer and Bart also decide to spend some father and son time together. On their hunt for something ultra-manly to watch, they stumble upon Clincher, a parody of Reacher, the American action thriller series that premiered in 2022. The joke here is that this version is so insanely popular among men, and its non-stop violence so hypnotic that it completely sucks them in. Girls use this to distract their dads at home. Homer distracts his co-workers at the plant, and they even manage to throw the police off their trail. Have you noticed how everything old is suddenly back in style? The Simpsons make that crystal clear in this episode. Lisa, usually the most forward-thinking kid in Springfield, ends up diving into the world of fashion by wearing her mom's vintage clothes. And here's the twist. What for Marge were just old keepsakes from her youth, for Lisa becomes her golden ticket into the school's most exclusive club. It's the same trend we see today with the 90s. Baggy pants, crop tops, even hairstyles. Things once dismissed as outdated are now considered cool. The irony hits hard. What parents had stuffed away in the attic is now seen as luxury. Just like in real life, where thrift stores, once about saving money, now sell worn-out t-shirts for more than you pay at a mall. After sending Lisa off to school, Marge stays home chatting with Maggie about how great her daughter looks. But then she notices something. Lisa is actually wearing Marge's old clothes from back in the day. What was once the height of fashion could now easily spell social disaster. Alarmed, Marge rushes breathlessly to Springfield Elementary with a replacement outfit, ready to save her daughter from humiliation. But to her surprise and relief, everyone loves Lisa's retro look. Classic mom move, trying to help your kids, but sometimes only making the problem worse. This season introduces two brand new characters, Devin and Vidalia. Both are obsessed with fashion and serve as the presidents of the school's exclusive fashion club. The fashion club is where Springfield Elementary kids get to unleash their imagination in the world of style. The curious part, the club is run out of the music room. In this scene, it's mentioned that Mr. Largo has died, which is why the club is operating there now. That statement caused a stir since it implied the character had been killed off-screen. Thankfully, executive co-producers Cesar Mezuriegos and Jessica Conrad later clarified that Mr. Largo is very much alive, so rest easy, he sits still around, just busy with other commitments. It's not common to see the twins on screen, and even rarer to see them apart, but in this episode, Terry plays a slightly more prominent role, without her older sister Sherry, who doesn't appear at all. When Lisa flips through Marge's yearbook, we see her classmates depicted as kids and teens from the 90s, the very same decade Marge's own children originally grew up in. This kind of retcon isn't new. Just last season, they did something similar by rewriting Abe Simpson's backstory to line up with the present day. As Lisa walks through the school hallways, right before she runs into the fashionistas, we spot Principal Skinner putting up a poster announcing the mother-son dance. With this little detail, the episode is already laying the groundwork for the big heist Lisa and her friends are about to pull off. Bart is horrified at the thought of going to a mother-son dance. However, everything changes when he ends up dancing with another kid's mom and suddenly realizes the experience can actually be way more fun than he ever expected. This episode reveals an interesting little detail. Martin's mother's maiden name is actually Gibson. That means her full name before marriage was Gloria Gibson, not Gloria Prince. When Marge shows up to rescue Lisa, just before the police catch her, she mentions that Homer is keeping them distracted, clincher style. You'd think he was about to take on the role of a vigilante, fight the cops, and buy time for his wife and daughter to escape. But instead of throwing punches, he simply plays them the flashy visuals of the show on his tablet, leaving them completely hypnotized. After Lisa makes a sarcastic comment about how Marge can barely fit into her old dress, Marge snaps and imitates Homer, shouting, "Why, you little?" Luckily, Bart steps in just in time, pulling Marge away before she can strangle Lisa, reminding her it's not worth it. It's the very first time we've seen Marge act like Homer, and even worse, actually feel the urge to strangle her daughter. The only adult who can't stomach Clincher's relentless brutality is Wendell's dad. He can barely hold back from throwing up at the sight of so much violence on screen. In the end, the message is clear: like father, like son. At the end of the episode, Marge makes it clear she doesn't condone stealing and forces Lisa and her friends to return every item to their rightful homes. However, there's one tiny detail: she keeps one of the stolen shirts for herself, the one that belonged to Martin's mom since Vidalia had ruined Marge's original. The plot of this episode is strikingly similar to The Bling Ring 2013. In that movie, a teenage girl leads a group of fame-obsessed kids who use the internet to track celebrities and break into their homes. The difference here is that the twist is played for comedy. Instead of stealing jewelry or luxury goods, Lisa and her friends swipe retro clothes from moms with sons, making sure the adults won't notice the heist. So tell me, what do you think of this brand new season premiere? Drop your thoughts down in the comments, and if you spotted something I missed, don't hesitate to share it too. See you next time.